Hello, hello, Periscope family. Hey, thanks for watching me on replay, you guys. Here we go. Hey, oh, hey, how you doing? Jacqueline's in the house. All right, thanks for following, Jacqueline. And I got some bread. I didn't make any bread this last week there. Hey, thanks for joining me here. Let me just flop this around. Hey, Jacqueline. I didn't make any challah bread last week, so I didn't get any out to you. But I'm going to be making, hey, Sam, I'll be making some this coming Friday. Definitely got that. So, hey, thanks for joining. Hey, Kara. Hey, it's Kara. Awesome scope. Well, I tell you, I know more than stuff to go through, man. I tell you, I've had some rough, crazy days here. So, okay. Oh, but Jacqueline, it's coming. It's coming. I may be a little slow sometimes, but just like a little bit of leaven. A little leaven. Leaven's the whole lump. Okay? Hey, you guys! Oh my gosh, D. Larson Hunter. That is my brother, Doug. You guys got to follow him. He's a serious hunter, man. He's awesome. Oh, man, that is so cool. Thanks for stopping in. Okay? What's up? What's up? What did I miss? I just started, Sam. Haven't really done anything yet. Okay, I'm sure you're going to enjoy it there, Jacqueline. Appreciate it. I'm looking forward to some apple butter. Oh, my gosh. I think last year I made almost about 2 bushels of apples worth. Okay, where's the bacon bread? Okay, here we go. Well, this is Brian Larson. I'm in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I'm here tonight and I'm going to work with you guys so you can see how I can create a recipe so you guys can maybe pick up a couple things, make your own breads, make your own formulas. You can watch me. We're going to work together on making some bacon bread, okay? Hello, Liz. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Awesome. Yeah, tell Homer I said hello. I said, you guys are still killing it with some amazing breads and stuff like that, and cakes, there. That's cool. All right, well, I'm going to get started then, you guys. I appreciate you joining. Now, I'm just going to flip this around here, and, before I do, yes, is bacon fat? Yes, bacon is very fat. It's deliciously fat, too. So, we made some bacon here tonight, and I wanted to save the grease. I've been wanting to make a bacon bread for months, probably even years. But we're finally going to do it this week, okay? But we're going to make the formula right now. So you guys are fresh. This is, if it was any fresher, you'd have to slap it. Okay, how much? A pound. Oh my gosh, I don't know. It's just, let me just show you what we got here. I'm flipping this around. Here's kind of the start of the formula, okay? So we'll get that here in just a second. Now I have the bacon grease right here. This is just leftover bacon grease from tonight. As you can still see, it's still a little bit soft there, but that's what's going to be going in the bread. Okay? And so what we're going to do now, we're just going to go over making the formula. I'm just going to go over so you guys can see how I make this. Okay? So you can kind of get a good lowdown of, say you want to make your own bread, here's some great ideas to start. Now, I'm starting this tonight thanks for joining, you guys. Don, thanks for joining. I'm just going to be creating bread with you guys so you guys can see firsthand making a loaf of bread. Yes, the bacon pieces, that's what we're going to be adding here. Okay, but we're going to step through this so you guys can see, how a baker goes about making a formula. Okay? Now, every formula is going to be starting out here with the flour. I'm so hungry. I haven't had lunch yet. Oh my gosh. Oh, Kara. Oh man. That's too bad. I'm sure the bacon bread with a BLT would be awesome. Can you imagine that? Toasted bacon bread with a BLT? Oh my gosh, I'm getting hungry already. So we're going to start out here. I'm going to step you guys right through it. So we're going to start with the bread flour. What this is a gram weight. In other words, it's going to be 1,000 grams. Let me just type in a GM there, okay? So that's going to be 1,000 grams of flour. Hey, Kathy! Oh my gosh, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate that. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're going to start out with creating the formula. Do I need any eggs? I don't need any eggs. We can always add some if we want. Hot from the oven with butter. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Oh. Now, I've never made bread with bacon. Okay. All right, Kathy. Well, so you can see how I'm going to be creating a formula. So you're going to work through this with me. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this in grams. Now, I have a digital scale that I use. Oh, my gosh. Bragg HQ. You guys got to follow him. I'm sorry I'm bouncing around here, but oh, my gosh. Hey, Roz. Oh my gosh, some awesome folks in the house. Okay, and then now, hey, Bragg, a bacon bread egg sandwich. Jesus. Oh my gosh. Oh, that sounds awesome. You guys are hilarious tonight. All right, but Bragg HQ. I thought the title said bacon beard. Oh no beard here, man. It's for bread. You're gonna see how we can make bread. You know, I'm gonna show you guys. If you guys ever want to create your own bread, we're gonna step right through it. So I'm gonna kind of, you know, I appreciate you guys swinging in. I'm gonna get focused here and stop being distracted here by all you fine, wonderful people here. I need another cup of coffee. I do, Doug. You got it, man. Oh, that's great. Thanks for stopping in, Doug. This is awesome. So, well, I start out with 1,000 grams of flour. Okay, and now this is going to make it easier for me to create the formula. Now, I could put this into ounces, but my scale... Oh, hey, Doug, yeah, check out the replay, man. And happy hunting. Go get them, okay? Oh, and Jersey Girls in the house, too. Oh, my gosh. Cool, I appreciate it, man. So, and then I'll be baking the bread this weekend. So we start out with... The base of the formula is the flour. So you're going to start out with 1,000 grams, and everything else is a percentage of the flour weight. When you're creating a formula for let me just change my hand around here. When you're creating a formula for bread, everything is a percentage of this. Okay? So out of that 1,000 grams of flour, typically water is going to be about 60%. Okay? Let's go up at 11:30 Eastern. Yeah, I know, it's kind of late here, so... yeah, we're going to make it up right together, Roz. So I'm going to make it, as you're seeing me, we're going to create this bread, the formula. I'm going to make it up this weekend so you guys can see what it's like. Okay? So the water percentage, now I got a little spreadsheet made here so I can just type in that I want to add, most breads have about 62% moisture content. Okay? You're from Jersey? Oh, cool. Just right up on the East Coast. I'm down here in Virginia Beach. Add some tomatoes. Wow, that's a kind of a cool idea. Now, see, I'm going to take the 1,000 grams of flour, and 62% means 62% of the 1,000. So I'm going to add about 620 grams of water. And then most breads have a percentage of salt is going to be at 2%. So I'm just going to go over here and give me my, put about 2% of salt in there. So that means it's about 20 grams. Okay? Roasted tomatoes on top. Oh my gosh, you guys are killing me. And for the most part, just a little tip, you guys. If you put salt in a bread recipe like this for 20 grams, it's going to be about 3 teaspoons. There's about 7 grams of salt per teaspoon. How much salt is in the bacon? As much as they put in it. Okay. So, and then now for the honey level. Now I like to use honey in my breads. Now the nice thing about this, what if you don't have a digital scale? Well, then Jacqueline, what we can do is there is some conversion charts that you can do that will convert grams to ounces, or we can work on some things that will get a conversion of a cup, like the salt. 20 grams of salt is, you may want to reduce what you add. Well, that's fine. The extra little salt. Now we're looking at the bacon grease may have a little bit of salt in it. But a lot of times I'll actually increase the salt even a little bit more than this if I want a little bit more flavor on it. But it's a good place to start. Okay? Will the bacon salt not increase too much? Well, the grease that I have does have some salt in it from the bacon. Okay? But it's not going to be too much. And I don't know the percentage of it. But again, we're just creating this just right fresh here. So, I could take that a little bit lower. Well, let's take it down a little bit lower then. Let's just take it down to just 0.0175. We'll just take it down a little bit. But it only dropped down about 3 grams of salt, which is not much. It's only going to drop down. That's barely even 1/8 of a teaspoon, just a smidgen. That's not much at all. Okay? But we'll just drop it down because the bacon grease is going to have some salt in it. Oh, wow. What could be substituted for the bacon? Jersey Girl, there is no substitute for bacon. Nothing. No, I'm just kidding, man. All right, so now we're going to add a little bit of honey in here because I like to have a little bit of sweetness to it. Now, I like a good dose of honey. Hey, Jackson. Oh, my gosh. That is so cool. Let's see who we got here. Jacksology, thank you very much for coming in here. Oh, my gosh, I saw you earlier. Cool. I don't eat pork or beef. All I can say is good luck. Try some challah bread or something else. But thanks you guys for inviting all your your followers and everybody. Appreciate that. Now with the honey, I like to put a decent level of honey in there. I don't put really much of any sugars in bread unless I have to. Unless the formula dictates it for the specific product I'm making. All right, and so what we're going to do, we're going to add about, we're going to start in about 15%. Oops, let me see here. We're going to add about 15%. Now, why am I using 15%? I'm using 15% because it's going to give you a nice level of sweetness. Because a lot of times with honey, going to prepare for my own school. Okay, cool, man. I'll have to check you out here. Make sure I'm following you real quick here. And I am right now. Okay. All right. Oh, and Steve, thanks for joining, man. All right, so I'm using honey in here because a lot of times with bacon, associated syrup that you'd have in breakfast or different things, the sweetness is going to be more of a complementary flavor. Okay. Now, yeast. Yeast is typically about a 3% level. Okay, so I'm just going to add in about 3%. Now, for the yeast, what I use is a thing called cake. Let's see here. I use cake yeast or wet yeast for my yeast. So now 30 grams of that is going to be about the same as, let's see, probably about the same as maybe about 2 packs. Someone invited me, however, I'm a food blog. Oh, wow, Krista. Well, thank you so much for stopping in. I appreciate it. Hey, I'd love to talk to you about your food blog. I'll have to check it out. I love it. All right. And so we're using about 3% yeast. Thanks. Okay, come to my scope. You'll find out what the links are about. Okay, cool. I'll check that out. So you use about 3% yeast level. Okay. Now when it comes to the bacon grease, okay, dry active, yeah, it won't be 30 grams of yeast. You know what? Let's just bump that. What that's going to end up being for like a yeast package is probably going to be at least 2 to 3 packages. But I would probably start out with about 2 packages of dry yeast. Okay. Now again, it depends on how much kind of fat we put in here. Now the other thing we're going to do now, typically fat. This is a solid fat. It's typically put in at about around anywhere from a 3 to 7% level. So, and I'm going to put a little generous portion of fat in here. So we're actually going to go up to make it a nice rich dough. I'm actually going to go all the way up to 10%. Okay. So I'm just thinking about it. What do you guys think about putting a lot of bacon fat in here? Now this is, I don't know how many ounces this is, but there's quite a bit of bacon fat in there. There's probably a couple ounces in there. Now this is about 4. That's 4 ounces of bacon fat. Okay, and so that's quite a bit of bacon fat we're going to put in there. So I'll just put in what we have here. So it's going to be about 4 ounces. Okay, and then now the question is should we put? Anybody think we should put some actual chopped bacon in the bread? What do you guys think? Should we put some chopped up pieces of bacon in the bread too? Okay, Krista. Okay, all right, Sherry. We got a couple of us. Okay, all right. So now on that, a typical piece of bacon. Let's take a look at it real quick. Measure it solid. Now on top, measure it solid on top. Okay. All right. So we're gonna put some solid bacon in here. Bacon makes everything better. Oh, I love it, Kristen. So it makes a heavy loaf. Yeah. Now, it will make a fairly dense loaf unless we go back, say we go into a 0.07 level. The more grease, the more fat you put in it, will kind of weigh it down, make it a little heavier. Then we can always increase the yeast a little bit by taking that to 0.05%. Okay, so then we can make sure we get a little more lift, and then just make sure we put in at least say 3 packs of yeast. Okay. All right, and then now the bacon here, I'm not chocolate, and chocolate, it makes everything better. You know what? Some of the, I don't know if you guys, hey Kathy, you guys ever had, I am totally bunny trail here, but make some bacon, fry it up, and dip it in chocolate. Oh my gosh. Chocolate dipped bacon is off the chain. Off the chain. Ooh. So yeah, this would be, I'm salivating right now. I know you can't see it. Oh my gosh, you've made it before. That's so cool. Yeah, all right. So now the big question is how much bacon it's going to add. So maybe we'll probably add probably about 5%. So put about so that's going to put about 2 ounces of bacon in there, which isn't much. But you know what? Let's do a little measuring here real quick. A lot of these things I know. Let me see just a second here. Hey guys, thanks for hanging with me on this process. So you all are going to be collaborating on the bacon bread, okay? So when I make this, everybody that's here tonight, I'm going to get you all's Twitter, and we're going to get you the recipes because you guys are helping me create temperature rise for 3 or 2. I'm not sure what you mean 3 or 2. What I'm talking about is, oh my God, bought bacon chocolate in Chicago. Oh really? Oh my gosh, yeah. Even just frying it up yourself, dip it in some milk chocolate is awesome. Okay. Now, as you can see, I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit here. What I just did is I got my scale. Oh, temp at the end of a rise. My breads, I always try to have them. Now, I make my breads a little bit different. Now, right now, we're looking at a straight dough for this, which means, you can make it, just mix all the ingredients together, let it rise for about an hour, knock it back, and then let it rise for about another half hour, 45 minutes, and make bread out of it. Okay, just a straight dough. Nice and simple. I can make it a little longer process as well. Liquid smoke to boost bacon flavor. Ooh, Steve, that's a great idea here. Now, what I'm doing right now is just trying to find out how much bacon it'll take for that 50 grams. Okay? All right? But that's a great idea to throw a little liquid smoke in there. I thought of that earlier tonight. I'm thinking, ooh, I wonder if that would really do it. So what I've got right now, let me just switch this around here. I've got my digital scale. It's set on grams. And now I have about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got about 5, oh my gosh. That takes 5 to 6, about 5 pieces of bacon is giving me about 40 grams. Okay? Now that's cooked bacon. Swap honey for maple syrup. That is a great idea. I don't have any maple syrup, but I think that the maple syrup would be like a total score on this. I think I might just have to go get some. What do you guys think? Should I put maple syrup in the bread instead of honey and use maple syrup as a sweetener? What do you guys think about that? Oh, you think, Sherry, you think the honey. Okay. Kathy, you're in for the maple syrup. Okay. All right. And, and go for it. Maybe 50-50 maple flavor. Oh, you know what? Oh, that's a great idea. Don't overdo it. Yes, maple syrup. Maple. Okay, maple syrup. Okay. All right. You know what? So then what I'll do is I'm going to get some maple syrup. So we're just going to switch this out. Do that here. I'm just typing that over here. Let me if I can spell this right. Okay. Mapleine. Oh my gosh, yes. That's what I was thinking. I love Mapleine. As a kid growing up, all we ever had my battery is getting low there. All we ever had was Mapleine on our pancakes. Absolutely loved it. Mapleine is amazing. You have 2 battling flavors. Don't crowd one out with the other. Yeah. I would just, be removing the. You're saying, okay, don't overdo the grease. Rely more on baking pieces for flavor. Not as heavy tasting. Well, you're right, Roz. But my thing is I hate wasting stuff, and I want to use the bacon grease to make it a nice, rich, moisture product. So I just kind of want to use it up in this. Personally, I prefer I want to eat all the bacon and just use the grease in the bread. That's what I'd like to do. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of flavor in the chunks of bacon unless there's processed and stuff like that. So a lot of the flavor is going to come through the grease. Things like the maple flavoring, like the Mapleine, is a great idea to give the maple flavor to it. And the honey, I think, is a great there. I think... So I'll take a look at it. I make dog treats with excess bacon grease. Oh, that is a great idea. Okay. All right. So, but I think sounds like most everybody thinking is use maple syrup instead of the honey. Okay, I'll have to pick up some maple syrup, or I might just use some Maybelline. Okay, bits are hard to digest. Two different textures. Yeah. So and mix it with birdseed. Oh, oh no. Oh, that is a good idea though for the bacon grease there. Okay. All right, so I think we've got some things working here. So we're going to have the flour, water. We got the salt. Reduce that down a little bit because of the grease has got some salt in it. Syrup overpower the bacon. So you think the maple syrup may overpower the bacon? So, all right, then maybe we should just shift to just stick with the honey. What do you guys think? I mean, let's kind of take a poll. Let's say everybody. What do you guys think? What is going to be? I'll just majority rules. We'll just go with honey or maple. And I think my battery may be getting low here. Light syrup, not dark maple. Not sure. Maybe 50. We got honey, maple. Okay, maple. So we got 3 maples. 1 honey, 1 50-50. Okay. All right, you know what? So we'll just go ahead and stick with the maple syrup. I think I'm going to cut the flavoring down on the syrup. Cut that down to probably about 7 to 8%. Probably. We'll just go with just about a turbo compact cooks in less time. Maple. Okay, so it's definitely a maple. Okay, so we're going to just take it to about 10% maple. Okay. Now, the other thing is I have to take into account here, guys, is that most syrups, like maple syrup and honey, maple syrup probably is higher, but honey and is about 30% water. Okay? So we're going to adjust the water content because we got the maple syrup here. Okay? So now, out of this, you got about 30 grams here, 30 to 40 grams. Sounds better to cut maple, but now more moisture. Yeah. So we're going to have to cut the moisture up here by about 3 to 4%. So we're going to take this to we're going to go to 5.8% right there. And that'll take it to about 580. We're going to keep the level here because this is adding more moisture to our overall formula. Okay, so if I got about 4% moisture here and take this back 4%, we're still going to balance it out. Okay, we'll either activate the yeast. Now I use fresh yeast. Now I'm going to be using the water to activate. If I was using dry yeast, add more water. Now I'm good with the water. Now I can always add a little bit more when I make it. Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Kathy. Yeah, I used to work as a baking technology, so my job was to actually create formulas, know the moisture contents of everything. Yeast doesn't need to pre-activate. That's if you use the instant yeast. Okay. If you're going to use active dry yeast to make it most effective, you want to heat it in the 115, 120 degree water. It's more effective that way. But I use cake yeast. It's compressed yeast. So, all right. So we get the balance of flour, water, salt, maple, yeast, and bacon grease. Now, the bacon bits. I'm not sure if I'm going to use a full, 5% of that because that was like dissolved yeast with sugar and with the warm. Now, with the yeast, you just want to follow I thought it was tested for all types of yeast. Now, it may have been SAM. Now, I never did find that one report that you said, so I'm really not sure on that, okay? But I'll check into that. But I just follow the instructions on the packages. Is the maple syrup feeding the yeast? It will add some, food to the yeast. It'll kind of activate it and it'll help process it along. But I think I'm going to drop this down to probably about 2.5. Oh. Okay. I'm going to drop that down. Okay. Okay. Yeah. If you would send me the link here. So I'm going to drop this into this. Okay. All right. So I think we've got. Now, the other things that we can do is we'll look at here is don't syrup have less water than honey? No, actually, the syrups have more water than honey because they're just runnier. They're more fluid. So the more fluid they are, the lower the viscosity, the lower the moisture content. Because honey is got I guess it would be a higher viscosity. I mean, in other words, it's stiffer. Okay, yeah, but they have more moisture on it. So, all right. So now the only other thing to think about is if we want to add any kind of herbs or seasonings or flavorings into this stuff. So I think everything looks pretty good as far as the formula goes. And this is going to make about 2 good-sized loaves of bread. Usually takes about 700 grams of dough to make a loaf of bread. Okay, honey has more sugar than syrup. Well, as a percentage wise, yeah. So for every 1,000 grams of honey, it's going to have more. Let me turn this around here real quick. Honey is going to have more. Sugar level as a percentage than syrup will. I gotta get my charger here. My phone's about ready to die here, so just 1 second. But yes, the honey is got a lower moisture content, but that's because it's just naturally produced at that level. Where syrup is something that they're adding to. This is a good recipe start for a waffle recipe. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious! You actually could do that. Would you need different amounts? Actually, what you'll end up doing is you would just balance the recipe, both natural levels of sweetener. Yeah, you would just balance the recipe for the moisture and the sugar content. I don't have the stats exactly what the moisture content is on a typical. Yeah, the honey doesn't spoil, and that's mainly because the actual moisture content is so low that the sweeteners, the sugar, helps keep everything nice and stable. But once that water activity, water levels are different too. Yeah, they're different in honey as they are than the syrups. So, but that's just part of balancing the formula out. Okay. All right. Now, do you guys think about any kind of seasonings we may want to add? Because down the road, I like the idea that I think Steve put out there, like for some maple lean to throw that in, kind of like add a little kick of flavor to it. But a lot of times I love cardamom. But any other kind of seasonings you guys might want to add to that? Now, somebody says some liquid smoke. Anything else that you guys might think of that would be good? A red pepper flake. Ooh. So that's kind of bourbon. Oh my gosh. Now the bourbon would be on this side. That's just for me. Okay. With a little bit of tangerine oil in it. Boom. Onions. Ooh, that's a good idea. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we got onions. Oh gosh, what was it? I gotta write that down here. Okay, so red flakes, that's what it was. Red pepper flakes. Okay, so we got the I'm going to write that down. Smoke has too much artificial flavor. Yeah, that's probably... Okay, now, so you're saying the Tar Heel. So that would be sauteed onions. Sauteed onions and red... I'm just writing this down here, guys. Pepper flakes. Okay. And I'm not sure how much red pepper flakes that, but you're right. I mean, I think that is a good kicker. I was thinking about, putting some black peppers in it, in the bacon grease. Putting some more black pepper in because I like the flavor of peppered bacon. Okay, but not, so you're just saying not much on that, but the red pepper flakes. I like that idea. I'm trying to think. I've got some cayenne pepper. I don't know if I have any red pepper flakes. Okay, all right, but I'm gonna take a look at that. Maybe some sautéed onions. I like that idea. Oh, and some chocolate carrot. Now you're talking. I think the bourbon and the chocolate would just be just for sipping and eating. Okay, sautéed onions, good. What about bacon bits and onions on top? Ooh, that's a good idea. And apple bits. Oh my gosh, that is a great idea too. I am freaking hungry. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. Well, I like the idea of the red pepper flakes, sautéed onions, apple bits, gilding the lily. Not sure what that is. Okay. Not sure what that is, but that's cool. No. All right, cool. Well, I think we've got something here, you guys. Now, we've got the formula here. You guys are making me hungry. It's 11:25. Oh my gosh, I know. I am ready to get going on this stuff. So, so we've got a recipe here. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to turn out. I think everything's in good order. We've got a good level of bacon grease, cheese, onion, and bacon on the top like an onion roll. Oh, that is a great idea. Where are you? Ohio here. Kathy, Oh, Kathy, you're out there. Ohio. Sherry, I'm in Virginia Beach. You're making something more beautiful than it already is. Okay. That's cool. That's a good idea. The onions, sauteed onions, and bacon bits on top. That's a good idea. And that'll help with that flavor, too. Gonna go down. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to be baking the bread. Now, I will be baking it this coming Friday, okay? I don't know that I'll be able to get to it tomorrow, but I've got a bake day going on Thursday night, Friday morning. So I'll be doing some more scopings. I got some challah bread to make, some Virginia herbs, some cinnamon rolls, some more goodies to bake this coming Friday. So then we'll be making that then. So I will be scoping when I'm going to actually make the bread, and then when it comes out, so you guys can see what it's like, and I can show you. So hopefully we'll have some nice. And then the nice thing is I will be able to eat it. Yes. What prep for onions and cheese if used on top? Yeah, I would probably the idea of I'm taking a red eye. Come on over. Come on. Roll the onions and bacon in like a cinnamon roll. Oh, that would be a really good idea. Make it like a cinnamon swirl bread, but bacon swirl bread. Oh my gosh. Okay, that is a great idea. I like that. Bacon swirl. Boom. Good idea. Yeah, but Sam, I would probably just like saute some onions. So take some of the bacon grease, saute the onions in those, chop up some little pieces of bacon, get that hot. Let's just say warm. So I'm putting it on the bread just as I'm putting it in the oven. Okay. Yeah, I am kind of a night owl here. But I'm off tomorrow, so I don't have to work tomorrow. Yay. Okay. Then make a grilled cheese with it. Oh my gosh, I love the bacon swirl. Could you imagine like bacon swirled in through the bread? Holy crap. Wow, that would be a killer. Woo. That would be a little pricey loaf of bread, but man, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. I like that. I like that idea, man. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to make some notes on this stuff, okay? But those of you that, I appreciate you guys inviting your followers, following. Hey, Tar Heel, appreciate that. Follow me on Twitter. So I'm going to tag you. I'm going to try to get, I'll go to Catch and then I'll post you guys. But I want to get you guys this recipe as well, because you guys have all kind of contributed to the success of this recipe. Okay? So now I'll get it in grams. I'll get it converted over here. So that way this weekend, if you guys want to make it. Hey, Tar Heel, let me get following you here. I'm not sure if I follow you there. Okay, there we go. Cool. Oh, you're a chef too, man. Terry, thanks you very much. Cool. Hey, Slate, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate that. But just, I've just worked through it. I definitely check in the replay, you guys. Terry, thanks for following. Appreciate that. All right. Oh, I know it's getting late there, Jacqueline. I know. I'm going to be signing off. So as we go through this, if we got to make some tweaking on the formula, we'll pop it up. We'll see what kind of changes we're going to do after we see what kind of results we get in the bake, so you guys can see this process. So now, again, just make sure you keep the grams for me, please. Oh, awesome. Oh, yeah, I know. Kara, that's all I use. I convert all my recipes to grams because it's so much easier to do it. Kathy, it's nice talking to you. Thanks for stopping in the scope. Maybe DM me on Twitter. I'd love to check out your blog. I'll follow you there. Make sure we can check on things. But as you guys go through this, making a little spreadsheet like this is kind of nice and easy, because if you want to start creating something, then you're kind of learning how to balance your recipes, formulas, as most bakers call it. But as you balance your recipe out with different levels of ingredients, you can see, I got a lot more moisture here. You can make an adjustment up here. Okay? Yeah, and the King Arthur flour is all I use. Yeah, it's the bomb stuff. So, that reminds me, you guys, one last little plug here. I am going to jump over here. Now, jump here. This is the actual King Arthur website. Okay, so you guys want some good information on sourdough. I know I did some sourdough formulas, but those are kind of more my style of things. But this King Arthur has some amazing sourdough starter information where you can actually buy the sourdough recipes yourself as well. Or you can also, like you had that little pop-up, if you want to, you can sign up for their email and get recipes sent to you. It's a phenomenal, phenomenal website. These guys really do it. Plus, they do have ability to, if you want to talk with somebody, you can actually speak live with a baker, okay, for some baking tips. That's where the yeast test was, and they search. Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll have to check it out on there then. I'll have to check that out. And see what the stats are on it. So. Yeah, and the reason like with the active dry yeast, I like to have as little of what they call dead yeast as possible, because the dead yeast isn't always that beneficial on the. It releases I think it releases like an acid or something where it kind of breaks down some of the gluten. It's not always the best thing. So anyway, but it's I'm just probably being too technical on that stuff. So. But I'll check it out. That's awesome. But thanks for joining me, you guys, and hanging out this time here. Sam, I like the old-fashioned way. The active yeast, I'm going to put in my warm water. Please post that site on Twitter. Okay, thanks. I will do that. I'll do that King Arthur site over there for you. Let me make sure I'm following you there, Kathy. Okay, yep, I thought I was. Oh my gosh, I just realized. I'm sorry, Overcomer 8. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm a little slow here, Kathy. Okay. But yeah, I'll get that out there for you. And thanks for following Terry. Appreciate that. And hanging out with me this evening. And I'll look forward to making some bread and showing you guys the results that we've kind of created here. Okay? All right, Brian. Well, thanks for joining. Check out the replays. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.